Cappuccino, Grovebox, Nord, Dracula, you've used them all. Everyone has. But what if you want something that doesn't exist? Something that matches the exact mood you're going for, and something that's actually yours. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how you can build a color scheme from nothing. No generators, no copying, just you, some colors, and a method that works. Let's begin. First of all, why should you bother? Pre-made schemes, they're fine, okay? They're tested, they're balanced, they work, but they're also generic. They're designed to appeal to everyone, which means that they're not designed specifically for you. When you make your own color scheme, you control the mood, you control the temperature, and you control exactly how your desktop feels to use. No compromises, no close enough. And there's something else. Once you understand how color schemes are built, you'll never look at pre-made ones the same way. You'll actually see the decisions and you'll know why they do or don't work. That understanding makes you better at writing in general. So before you pick a certain single color, okay, for the color scheme, decide the mood. This is the step that most people skip. They jump straight into picking colors and end up with a mess that doesn't feel like anything. So ask yourself, what feeling do I want this scheme to evoke? Temperature is the first decision. So do you want something warm or cool? Warm schemes, they feel cozy, inviting, and comfortable. Think fireplace, autumn leaves, and golden hour. If I were to show you an example, something like Night Fox would be an example of a warm scheme. They use oranges, reds, yellows, and warm browns. Cool schemes, they feel clean, sharp, and focused. Think Arctic ice, moonlight, and deep ocean. They use blues, teals, cool grays, and purples. This isn't about which one is better, but it's about what you want. What mood matches how you want to feel when you sit at your desk? That's a question that you need to ask yourself. Then, the second decision would be energy. So, high energy or low energy. High energy schemes, they're vibrant, so they have saturated colors, strong contrasts, they feel active, dynamic, and maybe a bit intense, kind of like Komorebi, which is the custom color scheme that I made right over here. Low energy schemes, they're muted. They have desaturated colors, softer contrasts, and they feel calm, relaxed, and they're easy on the eyes for long sessions. When you combine these two axes, you get 4 quadrants. Warm plus high energy means vibrant and exciting. Warm plus low energy means cozy and comfortable. Cool plus high energy means electric and intense. Cool plus low energy means calm and focused. So pick your quadrant, that's going to be your mood. Every color you choose from here should serve that mood. Step 2 would be to gather inspiration. Now that you know the mood, take a look at what already exists. Don't copy, but actually study. Find color schemes that match the feeling that you're going for. Look at what colors they use and look at the relationships between those colors. So here, what you need to do in order to find places where you can actually find color schemes is not much at all. You have existing terminal color schemes. Go has hundreds. Base 16 has a structured collection. Look through them with your mood in mind. You will also have base 46 colors. So if you use NVChat, okay, you will have access to quite a lot of different themes over here. And if you want to get the hex codes for those themes, you can check. It was local. I'm pretty sure it was in .local share nvim lua. Yeah, base 46. No, not that. Lua. God damn it. Which one was it? Yeah, lazy. Base 46. Lua, base 46. And here inside of themes, you will find every single NVChat theme that's over here. So if you, in case, wanted to extract a couple of colors from that or use a couple of colors from that as a base, you can do so if you just install NVChat and check out this directory right over here. Okay, now apart from that, you also have lots of VS Code themes, so you can look there as well. You also have Rices on r/Unix point. You can search by aesthetic and find setups that have the vibe that you want and study their palettes. Art and photography as well. This one is just underrated. If you want a cozy autumn mood, look at autumn photography. The colors are just right there, so you can extract them. Design websites. You also have Dribbble, Behance, and even Pinterest. Search for dark UI or minimal dashboard, or whatever matches your mood. Designers have already solved these color problems, so should be pretty easy for you to just go ahead and take these solutions that are already there. Now, what should you actually look for? You shouldn't look for specific hex values, you should look for relationships. How dark is the background relative to the foreground? How saturated is the accent compared to the base colors? What's the contrast ratio? So what you're doing here is building intuition and not copying homework. And this process, understanding color relationships, building palettes with intention is exactly what separates okay writers from great ones. Hyperaccelerator goes deep on color theory and how to apply it to your setup. So if I just show you right over here, in the alchemical colors and fonts, here I explain stuff like colors and how exactly you can go ahead and set them up on your machine as well. Here I also teach you how you can make custom theme switchers like this one, where all you have to do is just load up your favorite themes inside of a switcher and switch between them whenever you want. So this of course works for every single app, from Thunar to your terminal to VS Code to pretty much any app you can imagine. So let me just show you this with another custom color scheme I made called Rayhan. And as you can see, it works pretty fantastically. So if you want to learn how to make something like this for yourself, you can go ahead, click the first link in the description right now and check Hyper Accelerator. This module theme switchers over here has over 2 hours of content and took me just over a week to make. And the entire program has over 300 students with a 96% satisfaction rate. So if you want to check out the program, you can go ahead, click the first link in the description and check out Hyper Accelerator. Now, what you want to do next is pick your base colors. You don't actually need 16 colors right away, you just need 5. The background is the foundation and everything else sits on top of it. So for a dock scheme, you're probably in the 1A, 1A, 1A to 2D, 2D, 2D range. So that would be these hexes. 1A, 1A, hold on, 1A, 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 and 2D, 2D, 2D. Somewhere right over here for gray, okay? And here's the key. Tint it towards your mood. If you're going warm, don't use pure gray, add a hint of brown or orange. So something like 1F, 1D, 1A instead of 1A, 1A, 1A. And if you're going cool, tint it toward blue or purple, something like 1A, 1C, 1F. Okay, this subtle tint, let me just show you here. It won't be as easy to notice, but let me change the theme so you can see it a bit clearer. Go to Tokyo Night with a dark background so you can see it a bit better. Okay, let's put that here, zoom in. Great, now let's add in those other colors as well. I was talking about 1F, 1D, 1A, so that's a bit lighter. Okay, forget it. You literally will not be able to see it here, but you should be able to see it if you just go to a hex previewer and type that in. The subtle tint that you add to the background affects everything. It sets the temperature of the entire scheme without being obvious. The foreground is of course your main text color. This needs to be readable against the high background. Not high background, but just background. So don't use pure white unless you're going for high contrast. Pure white on dark backgrounds is harsh. So try E0, E0, E0 or D4, D4, D4. And again, tint it. One foreground on one background. Cool foreground on cool background. Consistency. Now, if I were to show you what my color scheme Komorebi looks like, let's just show you that here. Config. No, yeah, config waybar. Let me show you this in colors. Custom.css. Okay, so here. Let's just open something else. There you go. Now you can see a preview of the colors. Here I'm tinting it a bit toward the cool side while still looking warm. So depending on the actual wallpaper that you choose, any scheme can be made to look warmer or cooler. So just keep that in mind. This is what the foreground is like and this is what the background is like. This theme is a fusion of Cappuccino Mocha and Tokyo Night. So that's where I got these colors from. Great. Next is going to be red, green, and blue. These are your syntactic colors, okay? They are the ones that will show up in code, in your terminal, and in UI accents. So use red for errors, warnings, and deletions, green for success, additions and strings, blue for functions, links, info, all that sort of stuff. Pick versions that match your mood. A cozy scheme doesn't want harsh neon red. It wants a muted brick red or soft coral. A cool, focused scheme might want a desaturated teal instead of vibrant green. So if I were to show you what that would look like, that would be something like noir. So pull that up inside of waybar, colors, custom, noir. Where's that? No, it's called monochrome. Okay, should be able to open a new window. And here, the preview doesn't seem to be showing up. Okay, there you go. Now it shows up. As you can see, pastel colors. Very desaturated and muted so that they do not get in the way whatsoever. And that would be 5 colors. Background, foreground, red, green, blue. That's enough to start using your scheme and everything else builds from here. Now we expand. Once you have those 5 colors, you just need 3 more in order to get to 7. So color 0 would be black or dark background variant. Color 1 would be red, 2 green, 3 yellow, 4 blue, 5 magenta or purple, 6 cyan or teal, 7 white or any foreground variant. You have black, red, green, blue, and white. You just need yellow, magenta, and cyan. So yellow, right here, this one. This sits between red and green on the color wheel, so it's used for warnings, highlights, and special keywords. If your red is warm and your green is warm, yellow should be warm too. Think gold, amber, mustard, not neon yellow. Magenta, that would be something like purple or pink. Magenta is more purpley, so this one, purple or pink, right? It can be either a purple, pink, or a true magenta depending on your mood. Cool schemes often go purple. Warm schemes might go something like dusty rose. Cyan. Now cyan or aqua, same thing. Here, this sits between green and blue, used for strings in some schemes, special values, decorators, and all that. This can be teal, aqua, or sky blue. Just match it to your temperature. Now, what you want to do is basically test these together. If I were to show you the color scheme inside of the actual terminal, colors, custom, let's go to, where is that? .conf. This is what it looks like. Ta-da. So color 0 through 15, this is what it's supposed to look like. Right now, I'm not really changing the colors when it comes to color 1 to, color 9 to color 15 because I'm just using the same one. But what you will have to do in order to get the brighter colors is basically just turn up the lightness. You can convert these to HSL values, turn up the lightness, convert them back to RGB, and then you can paste them in here so that you get the brighter version of any particular color. Now the terminal palette, this has 16 colors, colors 0 to 7 and 8 to 15. Colors 8 to 15 are traditionally bright versions of 0 to 7, so as I just mentioned, all you have to do to get the rest of the colors is just take your existing 8 colors here and then just increase the brightness. That's it. How much lighter depends on your scheme. Usually 15 to 25% brightness increase would be enough to be noticeably different, not so much that it looks disconnected. So you can do this inside of any color picker, right? Take the HSL values, keep hue and saturation the same, bump up lightness by 15 to 20%. Some people, they do it differently. So instead of just brightness, they also slightly shift saturation. Brighter colors, they get slightly more saturated. This can make the bright variants pop more. You're going to want to experiment with this. Now this would be your 16 colors. You now have a complete terminal palette. And building a color scheme is just one piece of building a cohesive setup. Hyper Accelerator teaches you how to think about all of it. Colors, fonts, spacing, the entire system. If you want, you can click the first link and just check out the program. Now, if you want to expand your theme to VS Code or NeoVim, 16 colors isn't quite enough. Code editors, they have more semantic categories. They also have comments, strings, functions, keywords, types, operators, variables, constants, parameters, and literally quite a lot more. You need around 20 to 25 colors to cover everything without reusing colors awkwardly. So where do the extra colors come from? First of all, you already have variations. Your 8 base colors plus their bright variants gives you 16. You can create medium variants too between the base and the bright versions. That's 24 right there. Second, you can add specific semantic colors, a slightly different blue for functions versus variables, a slightly different green for strings versus types. The rule of thumb. If you can remove a color and nothing breaks, if nothing loses clarity, you probably have too many colors. If adding one color would noticeably improve clarity, then if two things are the same color and it's confusing, then you probably have too few. Now, what you want to do is test this in real code. Open a file that you work with frequently, read through it. Can you instantly distinguish functions from variables, keywords from types? If you have to think about it, adjust the colors. Now, if I were to show you an example of a VS Code theme that I created, that would be something like Rayhan. So let me just switch the theme and let's actually open the VS Code theme so I can show you what's going on. Okay, right over here. So this one is a custom designed VS Code theme where every color has been matched properly so that everything looks good. So as you can see, this is what it looks like. If I were to show you the extension that's actually making this possible, that would be somewhere here. Okay, if it's not here, it's actually just being loaded in. But anyway, yeah, this is what you can make a custom VS Code theme look like when done right. Your scheme exists. Now, what you need to do is refine it. You can check contrast ratios. Your foreground on background should be at least 4.5 to 1 for readability. So you can use a contrast checker for that. You can check for color blindness, run your palette through a color blindness simulator. If your red and green are indistinguishable to someone with deuteranopia, consider adjusting. And lastly, just live with it. Use the scheme for a few days before finalizing. You'll notice things that felt fine at first but become annoying over time. Too bright, too similar, too harsh, so on and so forth. And you're going to want to iterate. Your first version, it won't be perfect. That's fine. Komorebi wasn't my first version either. I had to iterate sometimes in order to get it to look like this. Adjust, adjust, and test. The best schemes go through dozens of iterations. And that's pretty much it. This is the level of detail that makes a setup feel professional. And if you want to learn how to apply this thinking to every aspect of your ice without copying anybody else, and instead coming up with everything on your own, Hyper Accelerator, of course, is more than willing to help you out. If you liked the video, hit like. If you loved it and want to see more like this in your feed, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Stay rising. Mwah.